Hey everybody, this week we're going to learn about King Solomon and how God helped him to be wise. So let's go ahead and listen to this story. Many people in Israel had problems and arguments with each other. They would ask King Solomon to decide who was right. Solomon needed God's help to be wise. One night, King Solomon heard God speak to him saying, "Ask me for anything at all and I will give it to you." When he woke up, it was a dream. Solomon prayed to God and said, "I don't know how to be a good king. Show me how to know what is right and what is wrong when people need my help." "Because you did not ask for something for yourself," God said, "I will make you wise like no other king ever, and will also make you rich and famous." Two mothers lived together, each with their newborn baby. When one baby died, its mother swapped it for the live baby, pretending it was hers and wouldn't give it back. The mothers kept arguing, so they went to see King Solomon. The king had a clever idea. "Give the mothers half the baby each," he said. He knew the real mother would save her own child. One mother wanted them to have half the baby each, but the real mother cried, "Don't hurt my baby, she can have him." Then the king knew who was the real mother. People heard how wise and fair King Solomon was, and that he knew what was right and what was wrong. They came to hear the wise words God gave him. So Solomon dreamed that if he prayed for anything he wanted, God would give it to him. And he thought about what he wanted, and he knew he wanted to help his people. He wanted to be a good king. So he prayed to be wise, so he could help his people and to be a good king. So he did something for others, not for himself. He was really selfish in that thought and in that prayer. And God is so happy that he asked for something to help others and not himself, that he gave him riches and power and wealth and everything that goes along with that. And that shows us it is more important to be a blessing for other people than to be selfish and get things for ourselves. When we bless other people, we are blessing ourselves as well. Then Solomon goes on to use his wisdom to help this baby go to their real mother. Because Solomon and God knew that a mother's love would overpower everything and she would want to save her child. So therefore, that's why Solomon suggested to give each mother half the baby, which is obviously not good. The baby was going to die if they did that. But he knew the real mom would be okay with that because she loved the baby so much that even if she couldn't have him, she wanted them to have a life and to live on. So that's why they did that. And Solomon goes on to solve lots of other problems and issues in Israel, and they have a really prosperous time during his rule. And that goes to show when we have a wise and faithful leader, things go well for the people of God. So that's our story for today. So let's go ahead and make your craft. For this craft, you just need a piece of paper, some colored pencils, and a pair of scissors. First thing I'm going to do is fold my paper in half, hamburger style. So it's going to be the short, kind of fat way, not the long, skinny way. And then I'm going to take a colored pencil, doesn't matter what color, and I'm going to trace my hand. I'm going to make sure the edge of my hand goes on the side that is folded over, so the paper is doubled up. And then I'm going to trace my hand. But I'm going to trace it with my fingers together. So when you think about praying, you usually think about putting both your hands together, don't you? So then I'll take my scissors and I'm going to cut out my traced hands. I'm going to kind of round out my fingers a little better so it maybe looks a little bit more like a hand. So my fingers end up kind of pointy when I trace it. Now I have my hand and I can open it up and have two hands. So it's like my hands are together praying. Now I'm going to take a dark marker and I'm going to kind of separate my fingers so it maybe looks a little bit more like a hand. I'm going to give myself some fingernails. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And then I'm going to put Solomon asked to be wise. And that's from 1 Kings 3, 5 to 10 is where you can find this story. Then I'm going to open up my hands, and I'm going to put a few things on there. Solomon asked to be wise because he wanted to be the best king for his people. He was very caring, so I'm going to put a big red heart. I'm going to color it in. And then I'm also going to put crown because God made him a good king because he was not selfish. So I'm going to make a yellow crown over here. Color that in. And then I'm going to put some jewels on it. Put them in different colors. But the one thing that Solomon remembered the most was God and how he wanted to serve God and to be a good king. So I'm also going to put a cross on there. And then I'm going to put serve others. I hope you had a good time making your craft this week. I hope you have a good week, and I'll see you in Sunday school. Bye!